guys? This is Randy from Biggest Geekus. I played this past Sunday. See, today is Monday, the 27th of November, 2023. And so I played the 26th with T-shirted Historian. He had me play through a Scarlet Heroes scenario. We had Grim Jim, Ironcaster, and Ryan David for a little while. Hope he's feeling better. Ryan, I hope you're feeling a lot better today. Just wanted to do a quick overview. The game was a D20 game by Kevin Crawford. Definitely old school in feel. You do 4d6, drop the lowest, make your stats. I played a fighter. It's got a little piece that's 13th age like. It's got these traits that are like backgrounds, and you get 5 points if you're a human to spread them out. I had something like unlikely hero was one of my traits. Brought up on the wrong side of the had a connection, knew a local shaman. And you spread the points out. So it's got a little indie kind of take to it. To the skill armor class goes, it was a descending armor class, I did like how they implemented it. So I had a 16 strength. Those familiar with 5th edition D&D or even 3rd edition D&D, that would be normally be a +3, but it was only a +2 in this setting. You get a 16 because I rolled every 5th edition D&D or even 3rd edition D&D. That would be normally be a +3, but it was only a +2 in this setting. You get a 16 because I rolled everything under 15, so I got to exchange one stat for a 16. You make an attack roll, so roll D20. For me, I would add my strength, which was +2, and my attack bonus, which was +1 at first level. So if I rolled a 10, that'd be +3, would be a 13. So if I rolled a 10, that'd be +3, would be a 13. And then I would compare it to the attacker's armor class. Now, in descending armor class, the worst armor class being a 9, and then descending accordingly, if someone had a 9, it would add quite a bit. So I thought that was kind of ingenious, so that a higher number on the armor class would add to your attack roll. So 13 plus 9 would be 22. You always need a 20 to hit. So a lower armor class is harder to hit because it doesn't add very much to your attack roll. Kind of fun, but kind of weird. So when you're playing that game, you don't have to tell the players the armor class, which T-shirt didn't, but it seems like it would speed things up. In addition to your attack roll, you have something called the fray die. As a fighter, I have a pretty high one. It's a D8. And in addition to my attack, I could do some damage on my turn with the fray die, maybe bash someone with a shield or trip them, whatever it might be. If anyone's close by, in addition to my attack, I could hurt them with that and add an extra D8. But you have to be fighting it. That the only way a fray die helps you is if you're fighting a foe that's your level or lower, so your hit dice. So that was kind of fun. The other thing that's kind of unique about it is where the damage is done. So I used a longsword, so I did D8 plus 2 for my strength, but you have a chart. So if I did 8 points of damage, I don't do 8 points of damage. And this sounds weird. There's a chart that translates damage to damage done to creatures. So if you roll a 1 point of damage, you do no damage. If you do 2 to 5, you do 1 point. If you do 6 to 9, you do 2 points. And if you do 10 or higher damage, you do 4 points. Then you think, well, that sounds really weak, except for this. Creatures, their hit dice are their hit points. So I fought an ogre who in D&D terms had a 4 hit dice. So he only needed 4 damage to take down. I had a really good time. It was really cool. It would have been nice if Ryan David could have stayed, but he wasn't feeling well. So we had a party of 3 initially, then Ironcaster joined, then Ryan had to bounce. So I ended up with 3. And it makes for a very interesting play with a low number of characters. I think it will translate well to where you can use your AD&D or D&D monster books or adventures pretty much as written. So a monster with 10 hit dice is really tough because that's their hit points. And, if you do 4 points, you're doing a lot. I do wonder, I imagine with the weapons, if they get better, your magic items get better. I mean, if I end up doing, say, a D8 plus 6 or 7, I'm going to be guaranteeing myself a certain amount of damage. I also wonder, and I don't have the core rules yet. I have the quick start. I do wonder if in the core rules there's ways to advance that if damage gets any higher, or if it stays at that level. I think my buddy Joe at Biggest Geekus might not like this because might feel a little too constricting, but I do think the characters are fun. Um, I'd like to see the magic system played out a little bit more. It does seem like a wizard, which Grim played. Well, sorry, a monk. Sorry, Grim. Um, who was a wizard. He would cast a spell. You have a fray die of D4, and he could do minor magics. So he could attempt to cast his cool one spell for the day, which I know sucks. But then he could always do that fray die every round. So he could throw a D4, and if he rolled 4, that would be guaranteeing 1 point of damage. Only a 1 would kind of ruin his day. And he could describe it as minor attack magics. So that was pretty interesting. I think I want to buy the full book and the Red Tide campaign system, and I definitely want to try to play again. I had such a good time. So this is kind of a mini review, and then also a thanks to the T-shirted historian for having me let me play in the group, and they pushed their time back to 3 o'clock so I could play. So that was really nice. So hopefully in the future I'll get a chance to play with them again. Scarlet Heroes, definitely worth a thing to check out, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy this. So anyway, take care.